What's up, Meta Nerds? This video is all about the DL-44, the gun that was made famous by Han Solo. It was manufactured by Blastech Industries, the same company that made the DC-15s and the E-11 for the Republic and Imperial armies. It would sell for about 750 credits, and to have a reference, that's only 250 credits cheaper than a B-1 battle droid. It weighed 1.3 kilograms or about 2.9 pounds, which is nearly a pound heavier than a fully loaded Glock 17. Despite its pistol size, this gun was incredibly powerful and was extremely accurate within 50 yards, and with both of these attributes, it's very similar to a .44 Magnum. A big difference with revolvers, however, is that the DL-44 has a 50-shot capacity, or the option to have 25 overcharged shots for armor-piercing rounds. And instead of firing bullets, this thing pumps out plasma rounds, generating this ammunition from a power pack and a Tabana gas cartridge. The way it worked is that the Tabana gas cartridge would be stored within the handle, and up front here was the power pack. Pulling the trigger would release Tabana gas into this chamber here, and simultaneously ignite that gas with a charge from the power pack. This superheated gas would turn into a plasma, and circuitry within the barrel would send this round towards the enemy. Attached to the power pack was an air cooling vent, which helped to prevent the gun from overheating, and the gun also had two safety mechanisms, a standard safety on top, and an additional power pack release lever. And like most of the weapons made by Blastech Industries, it comes with a built-in stun setting, this little knob right here towards the front of the barrel. Some very interesting features of the DL-44 include a motion-sensitive scope, which could help the user locate subtle movements, while also assisting with aiming. Special technology called Galvan circuitry was worked into the barrel, which was able to amplify the intensity of the plasma and make the bolts twice as powerful as they should have been for a gun this size. And some tech that specially helped out gunslinging smugglers was a flash suppressor on the end of this barrel, and a feature in the blaster's grip called the cautionary pulsar, which would vibrate when the gun was down to 5 shots or less. The history of this gun is pretty interesting, and the first models of it came out in 33 BBY. That's 11 years before the start of the Clone Wars, and means that this Blastech creation predates the DC-15. It was a favorite of outlaws and nerf herders who lived on the fringes of galactic society, but would experience an explosion in popularity once the Galactic Republic became the Empire. This new authoritarian regime took a much harder stance on crime, and began putting up checkpoints and stormtroopers everywhere. As outlaws realized that they were getting into less bar fights and more shootouts with fully armored troopers, many smugglers realized that they needed a compact blaster that wouldn't draw a lot of attention, but that could still punch through the stormtrooper armor. For this, the DL-44 was the perfect weapon. The only problem was that it was so good at killing stormtroopers that the Empire put a stop to the production of DL-44s. But the smugglers of course still wanted a weapon like this, and to fill this vacuum on the market, Merson Munitions, the same company that made thermal detonators, stepped up and essentially tried to copy the DL-44, making knockoff versions called the Flash 4 and the Model 57 blaster pistol. So not only was Han Solo's weapon illegal, but he also made some illegal alterations, including the removal of the barrel sight, just so that he'd be quicker on the draw. But the scruffy nerf herder wasn't the only one that used the DL-44, as it was later used by Luke Skywalker's new Jedi Order, and even some members of the Imperial Remnant. Mara Jade, the Emperor's hand turned Luke Skywalker's wife, was also known to carry a DL-44 as a sidearm. And of course, not really caring about Imperial orders, many rebel troops also carried this powerful stormtrooper killing blaster pistol. That's where its history ends, but you definitely want to hear the cool facts and behind the scenes stuff. A reminder that Star Wars physics are constantly changing. The first DL-44 toy ever released was in 1977, but wasn't called a DL-44, instead it was just called the laser pistol. And the DL-44 used on set was actually a combination of different World War II weapons. The main body and handle of the gun come from a German C-96 broom handle Mauser pistol. The air vents on the front came from a model airplane kit. The flash suppressor came from the German MG-81 machine gun, which was located on a fighter plane. And the scope comes from, don't kill me with this one, the Henselt Wetzlar Zieldaut 3x scope. This was common on German sniper rifles, most notably on the K-98. Han Solo removes the iron sights just so he can be a space cowboy badass, but on the real pistol, the iron sights were just covered up by the massive flash suppressor. A couple people have actually modified the C-96 Mauser pistols to be functional firearms. One of these guys is certified badass Jerry Muckalick, who made a video showing off his real-life DL-44. On the flip side of this, many World War II historians and history buffs are upset at the Star Wars community for buying up pieces of real history, not so that they can preserve it, but do the exact opposite and just mash these parts together, so that they can have their favorite gun from a fictional universe. Let me know what side of the argument you stand on in the comments below. And that's it for the DL-44. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button, and be sure to leave a comment down below if I missed any cool facts, or if you have a suggestion for future videos. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at MetaNerdsLore, so you can see us build Star Wars props and cosplays, along with some other cool Star Wars stuff. If you want to help support this channel, check out the description below for our Amazon store and our Patreon. And be sure to subscribe, because we're making videos like this every single day. But more important than all that, remember, Jerry shot first, and the Force will be with you. always.